Let's talk about my favorite topic, absolutely my favorite topic, which is toxicity. Let's talk about my favorite topic, which is toxicity, plus another favorite topic, which is workplace. Toxic workplace not only impacts the business, employees, and of course, managers and leaders, but also, like the worst part is that you realize that this place is toxic when it's probably too late and you already feel the negative impact on yourself. So today I'm going to tell you what to look out for when analyzing whether your workplace is toxic or not and how to deal with it. Whether you're an employee who's trying to survive in your workplace, or maybe you're a manager or a leader that is trying to create a healthier culture. Let me show you the red flags that you should look out for. But before we start, I'm Justina, I'm occupational psychologist, performance strategist, and accredited coach. And I love optimization and fulfillment. So I truly care that people should like their jobs, should know that their job and feel that their job is meaningful, and just that they can thrive with others rather than just surviving. And my personal story was full of those moments when I was just trying to survive and I hated, like absolutely hated my job, my managers, the culture. The culture was so toxic, and the worst part is that nobody was trying to do absolutely anything because they were just accepting it, not realizing what a significant impact this culture will have on them, slowly chipping away their confidence, their fulfillment, the satisfaction, leading to burnout, but also leaking in to other aspects of your life. And then when it's too late, you have to basically repair yourself from scratch. And funny thing about toxicity is that often it is not that obvious. It's like a mold on the wall that at the beginning you don't see that is growing, because it's like, I'm not really a biologist and I don't know a lot about the mold, but I guess that at the beginning you don't see it, there's a damp wall, and then once it starts growing, it's quite hard to fix it because you need to fix the mold at the root of the cause rather than just spraying it with vinegar and hoping that it will be fine, because if the wall is too wet, then the problem is going to keep on coming back. And maybe you imagine a toxic workplace like there is a shouting all the time, everyone is arguing, everyone is rude and dismissive, something like an interpersonal arguments in the relationship, or it could be also a public shaming and disappointment, but it's actually the quiet things that are often left unseen. It's basically a gossiping about one another in a very negative way. It's people that are afraid to speak up when something is happening, blame games when something gets done wrong, or the leaders that are rewarding a bad behavior because it worked and it led to good results. So there shouldn't be any consequences for how they got it, like no matter the cost. At least they got it. Toxicity not only makes your work miserable and makes you feel miserable, but it also kills the productivity, it leads to burnout, it leads to a lot of resentment and hostility. Later on it chips away trust, kills collaboration, and eventually it drives away a top talent. Because I guarantee you that top talent who knows their skills, they know their worth, and they know that they can deliver the results, they will not wait for the business and the culture to change. They will just walk away, which you can do too, and I will tell you when is the time to walk away, instead of accepting this as it is and hoping that one day it will change. Okay, let's discuss 3 things that can be happening in your workplace if the toxic environment and toxic culture is already brewing, it's already starting out, and then you can notice it and decide what to do with it next. First thing would be that you notice that the communication in the office or in your team starts being just political. The conversation is not authentic. You carefully, or you see other people carefully choosing their words, avoiding conflict, hiding mistakes, and not wanting to discuss it because they are afraid of blame games, or just playing office politics, gossiping all the time one on another, or trying to get the sympathy of someone to get a better treatment. This isn't a working, thriving environment. That's basically a fear culture when you need to tiptoe around everyone. Second thing, which I think that is really, really important, but so often overseen, is a high turnover. How often this company is losing people and they need to rehire all the time people. If everyone is leaving, they are leaving for a reason. Don't think that they move on for their personal development. Of course, it does happen too. But when you have a team and the majority of those people left or they are leaving, there is something wrong happening. And this is something that I was overseeing and ignoring for a long time because I wanted the job sounded so great on paper, and then I realized why they leave. And I'm one of those people that if I don't like something, I will walk away. And maybe I'm changing my jobs too fast. Hopefully not this time. But if something bad is happening, I will not tolerate it. I had like too much drama in the past, and I'm just maybe not all about the positive vibes only, but it is something that I don't have to interact with. I don't have to be a part of it if I don't want to. And I don't want to, so I'm not going to be a part of it. And one thing is people leaving, and another thing is that nobody talks about it. If nobody is speaking about it openly, that that person moved on, that person is changing their profession, changing their job role, they're just leaving the company, but instead they just keep it quiet and you suddenly get to know about it a little bit like too late when they already left, this is a huge, huge red flag, because communication is a key everywhere, but also if nobody is talking about it, there is a reason why they are not being transparent. And as a smart manager or a leader, you should dig deeper. And as a smart employee, you should watch the patterns. If something doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. And because there is something out there. You should look for patterns, not excuses, and not overlook those small things because they are not really that small. And my third favorite thing ever, you know, when they are so fake positive and they tell you, we are a family, we care about you so much, like we want to get to know you, we want to help you, we want to see you succeed, and you know, we should stick together, we should help each other. And the moment you need help, they are not there. The moment when they say they're family, but you feel burnout, unappreciated, unseen. Or when you finally voice your concern and they just brush it away. Like, yeah, we'll discuss about it. Don't worry. And then it is never brought up. Recently I had a job role that I felt so miserable in, and I really left after 6 months. I don't think it was my record, but definitely they were selling this dream. During the onboarding, they were selling this dream that we are a family, this is such an innovative thing, you can be a part of a positive impact, we are going to move mountains and you're here to develop and we are going to support one another. And the moment onboarding ended, it was like, who are you? What? I mean, as long as your numbers are okay and your performance is 100%, we don't care about anything else. Are you fulfilled in this role? Do you want to take extra responsibilities? Do you want to be involved in extra projects? No, no asking whatsoever. And I know my worth and I know my strengths, and I wanted to literally contribute to a little bit more because that position was definitely less than I expected and below my competencies. So I wanted to grow outside of my role, just supporting others that I usually do in my previous jobs as well. I was taking additional responsibilities and I was doing like 2 jobs at the same time, and I don't mind because I'm still young and I'm learning and this is a really valuable thing. So I literally even told my manager about it, that these are my skills, additional skills, and I don't feel like I'm using them right now. How about I support you somehow and you involve me in the projects? I thought it's a win-win, that this person is going to have less work to do and I will take on some certain responsibilities that could take off some of their workload. And you know what? They were kind of like willing at the beginning, but they were more focused on me completing the training, and later on this topic was just forgotten, never mentioned again. And they wanted me to develop in the direction they wanted, and they never asked me if I'm like enjoying. So one day when I decided to give my notice, that person felt blindsided. And I don't know if this is because of the low self-awareness or nobody taught them how to be a leader and creating a culture. Definitely they weren't watching my videos, but I was surprised that they are blindsided, because how would you not see that coming? Dismissing all the time someone's personal growth, knowing that personal growth is so important for them, and brushing away things because you believe that they have to follow the process of development that you set up for them. Healthy culture talks about things and actually take you into consideration. So if they don't do that, all those 3 things or one of those 3 things, these are clearly the signs to watch out for and observe. And recognizing and observing is a step 1, but what you do next is what will make a difference and will decide about your further next step, what to do with it and whether it's time to leave this company. So as an employee, what you can do to turn things around so you don't feel that miserable and your work is much better? Well, first you need to understand that you actually have more power than you think. I don't know how about you, but I was always scared about speaking up because I thought that they will fire me or I will get a pushback and I will later on be dismissed and ignored, maybe ostracized. I don't know. But the moment I actually speak up one time, I was ignored and I had to leave the job because they pushed back so hard that they made me a villain of the situation. So my experience was not that great, but you actually have more power than you think. And definitely just staying quiet and accepting is not going to solve the problem. It might actually make things worse, because if they see that nobody is minding, then they will go for it further. So the things can escalate. It can be even worse. So what you can do as an employee, you can document the patterns, really observe, take notes, and see what's happening. So when you are asked about your feedback or when you want to speak up about your feedback, you have constructed a clear evidence, a clear example what is happening. The more specific you are, the more helpful it is for others, but also yourself, to be more persuasive and to be trusted, that whatever you're saying is not imaginary, but you've noticed it in a specific example. Then you want to speak up when you can safely. If your manager or a leader is not really listening, dismissing you, and none of those attempts really worked, you can try their manager. You can try some other person's manager. You can try a people partner who is usually collecting feedback and it's open for even anonymous tip that something is happening in the team, so then the organization can look further into this. And then you want to support teammates and find the support in them as well. Look around and see if whatever is happening, other people are noticing too. Is it something that you feel like this because you don't fit into the company's culture? Or is it because those people are afraid to speak up as well, and maybe you can find allies there? And if you are supporting teammates, it's going to be much easier for you as well, because together you are a power. But if you see that nothing can be changed and your actions are like talking to a wall, banging on the brick wall, and nothing can be changed, or people are just dismissing you still, other people don't believe you, and you're the crazy one and you're a villain, this is the moment to walk away. You can't change the system, unfortunately, and you cannot reorganize all the business, especially if you're somewhere lower in the ladder and you don't have that impact. Even if you had that much impact, you would still have it a hard way. And I know that some generations, like my mom, would basically tell me that, like, what do you mean? When it's hard, we don't give up, we fight back and we stay and we terrorize everyone and we make them what we want them to do, and then we are the leaders and we will just reorganize because we know better. But that is assuming that your truth is absolute truth and your actions are the only right ones, which they are not, because everyone has their own perspective, first of all. Second of all, changing and actually sticking with that place when you get so much resistance will take some of your energy, maybe most of your energy, but also mental health. So you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? I don't believe that any job is worth your mental health, and I believe that there will be a job out there that will be giving you all the support that you need for your mental and physical health without even asking and without even having it so hard. But I get it. Maybe you don't want to be jobless. So how to make your job a little bit more fulfilling and a little bit better while you're looking for alternatives, so the moment you get another job offer, you're ready to walk away from this toxic culture. About this, I made another video that you can see right here. And if you're a manager or a leader, you're leading a team, you're leading an organization, what you can do to improve that toxic culture or toxic environment? Well, you need to understand that culture is shaped by what you tolerate. You set the tone of a culture. So if you see some bad behavior, speak up about it. Talk to that person, maybe not in public, not in front of everyone to embarrass them, but pay attention and don't leave it ignored, because the moment they get the permission, they use it. Then you want to celebrate honesty, not just success. Psychological safety, it's really important. We all know that billionaires and all the successful companies failed so many times, and they love failing. Eventually, you just have to get used to it, and they keep on failing and they want to keep on failing because this is where you learn. So just rewarding success is really limiting, because that means that I can bring up some idea only and I'm 100% sure that it will work. And do I ever have this guarantee that it will work? Not really. So you want to create that psychological safety, which is an environment when people can freely speak up. They feel calm and welcomed and encouraged to experiment, to fail, to just try things out and express their opinion. And when you celebrate those things, not just success, that gives them opportunity to use it more often, so you can celebrate that you're all testing it out and we'll see what we will learn. Then you want to reward collaboration, like a true collaboration, not just individual effort. I believe that we are now more individualistic than before, and we all our whole life is all about me, and that's fine. But in organization, together, we are stronger. So, of course, we all have our own responsibilities, individual ones, but celebrating and rewarding collaboration, that means that people need to get together, need to create something. And if this is rewarded, then they will keep on doing it more. And then another thing is that you really want to act quickly on feedback, on in-person feedback, on anonymous survey. You need to act on it because the trust is not built by words, it's built by actions. So the slogans that I had in my previous company, that we're innovation, we're family, we're a team, like you will grow here, it's all amazing, it was just words. And I think it's the most disappointing thing ever because you don't really trust anything anymore. So actions speak louder than words, so act fast. And culture is not once set and then forgotten. Unfortunately, like everything in life, it needs constant work. Like your health needs constant work, your physical health and getting abs needs constant work, your relationship also needs constant work, raising kids needs constant work, your learning needs constant work. Like, you get the message. The culture is the same. It's all about reminding others and yourself what you stand up for, what the company stands up for, and cultivate it, live by it. Because later on, it actually even attracts the people that want to be in that culture. In my current company, we have a positive and like really warm culture. Surprising, but it also attracts when people are applying and they are in the interview, they are also sensing the culture, whether they want to be a part of or not. And usually, if it really needs a lot of adjusting from another person to adjust to the culture, that is, for example, fast-paced, but you prefer a slower environment, it will discourage them from applying or later on being that involved in the process. So the culture later on spreads out and attracts people that will fit right in. So if you've noticed any of early on signs of having a toxic workplace or toxic culture, or maybe something just feels off, like, trust your intuition first of all, but also choose courage over comfort, because if you choose comfort, things will get worse. And the worst part is that it will impact you the most, and then you will even be mad that, like, why I haven't done anything earlier about it when I felt that just something is off. And when it's too much, walk away, find another plan. As hard as it sounds, as horrible it sounds, because maybe in this company you already had dreams and amazing friends, your mental health is more important than this. Let me know if you found anything off in your current or previous workplace, or what you find so toxic that it is just the biggest red flag ever in your job. Drop the comment down below. I would love to hear it so we can start the conversation and maybe warn people before it's too late and before they get all the consequences of that. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos, how to live on your own terms, but also have a fulfilling life and a workplace when you don't hate Mondays, but you show up actually excited. I'll see you in the next video.